Robotics and automation is clearly a growth opportunity for investors that is set to outperform the broader economy and market for years, if not decades. And what's interesting for investors is robots are not new, automation is not new. We've seen industrial robots since the 1960s. We've been automating our lives for years, if not centuries and a bit beyond that. But what has changed is the scope as to what we can automate, and the big enabler there is technology. So if we think about sensors and machine vision and navigation software and deep learning and machine learning, it's really allowing us to take automation into more and more areas of society. So at the moment, we are very much a generation that's going to see advanced robotics literally move from the factory shop floor into the broader economy. We're seeing applications in healthcare, in logistics, in agriculture. We're seeing robots turn into drones and take to the sky. We're seeing them turn into 3D printers. We're seeing them turn into products and actually enter our homes. So for investors, this is a very broad, growing opportunity, and in many ways, having some exposure to it is a very sensible way to future-proof your portfolio. Well, for us, it was very important to define what is robotics and automation. And we really think about robotics and automation as having three characteristics. So the first is an ability to sense, the second is an ability to process, and the third is an ability to act. And that ability to act is absolutely critical, because that's really what defines a robot in our view. That action can be in a structured or an unstructured environment. If you actually started to try and identify robotics and automation companies, and you went to GICS or BIC, they don't recognize robotics and automation as a subsector. You wouldn't be able to find companies. There aren't publicly available companies that you can actually go to. So for investors, this is very uncharted, undefined territory. And what we realized as investors ourselves very early on was to get this right was going to require a lot more than just traditional financial analysis. So we've done three things really. We've teamed up with some real industry experts, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, academics that really understand this world. We have built our own, and actually the industry's first industry classification. We focus on 13 high growth, high value subsectors of the industry. And then finally, we've got a database of companies. It's our database that we've built from the ground up. And we really use those three areas of our business, the team, the classification, and the database, to actually feed the best companies possible into our index. It's actually been really interesting. Since we started Robo Global in 2013, we were very much the first company to provide coverage, to put a product into the market. The index has been very widely accepted globally and used by different institutions. And it's almost been a little bit of a surprise. Some of the other strategies that have come to market are actually very, very different from what we've put together. So our team of industry experts has identified 13 high-value growth areas of the industry. And when you fast forward to the portfolio that we've created, it's 75% SMEs, it's 50% technology-related companies. We actually had 3 index companies that are acquired last year. We've had 1 year to date. So we're at a very interesting high-growth end of the industry. And when we look at some of the competing strategies that have come to market, they clearly have a robotics flavor, but some are either very focused on the large cap opportunities. So it's more likely to be the companies that are doing the acquiring rather than actually the ones that are being acquired but are sitting in our index. We've also seen strategies come to market that have a much broader definition as to what is robotics and automation. They have focused a lot more on software. They've included companies that are focused on ERP or web development. So very, very different strategies in the market. And I think for investors, it's good. I think the fact that different players have now started to come to market really validates the theme. It assures people that something interesting is happening here. This is a trend that they need to be aware of and to be thinking about in their portfolio. But they really have an opportunity to identify a strategy that actually suits what sort of exposure they're looking to get.